Without a compelling reason to take action right now, nobody will. That's because I'm a firm believer that ecosystems beat funnels every single time. When you try to funnel everyone down the exact same system, you end up losing a ton of them along the way. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact way I've structured my consulting business to operate like a winery. There are 4 key parts to it, and the single biggest challenge that most coaches and consultants like myself face is that business is difficult. At least that's the narrative we all absorbed, that success demands struggle, that you have to sacrifice everything to accomplish anything meaningful, earn more, and build a life you actually want. I was living abroad, separated from my family. I was spending time managing people instead of making content and doing the work I'm passionate about. So yes, business is tough, but only if you choose for it to be that way. Because there's an entirely different reality where you architect your life and your business the way a small family winery operates. And that's precisely what I chose to do. I asked myself, what's the most peaceful, most soul-filling environment on the planet? The answer probably is a winery tucked away in the countryside where the clearest thinking happens. So how do they run things over there? They lead with the product. They make outstanding wine. I know the sommeliers, I know the people, the energy is incredible. I never once seen them rely on flashy promotions or tricks, no buy one, get 2 free deals. So essentially I took everything the conventional wisdom told me was right and I flipped it on its head. So in this video I'm breaking down exactly how I modeled my consulting business after a winery. So there are 4 key parts to it. How you draw clients, how you build a relationship, how you turn a stranger into a paying customer, and then once they're inside the tasting room, how you make sure they stay forever. First up is the entrance. We need people to actually walk into the winery, but we don't want to do it through an aggressive in-your-face marketing. We want them to be actually drawn in naturally. The aroma of old oak, the gorgeous vineyard scenery, glowing recommendations from people they trust. It's that feeling when you just know a place is special. In the consulting world, we replicate this through short-form content paired with paid advertising and by being extremely precise and authentic in our messaging, because short-form content remains the simplest method for reaching new audiences. Layer paid ads on top of that and the results multiply dramatically. I'm a big fan of paid ads because with paid acquisition, I can craft a very targeted ad copy and creative that attract exactly the type of person who belongs in this winery. If I depended solely on organic reach and chasing virality, I'd have zero control over who walks in through that door. So I run highly targeted ads with very intentional funnel that filters the right people from the start. Here are the different content styles I use in the digital winery. I write long form copy, and whenever I do, I pair it with a visual or a graphic and distribute it across all organic channels. I also create reels, and I experiment heavily with organic trial reels to identify the top performers. Some designed specifically for nurturing, others built specifically for ads. I brand my business as the digital winery, and that metaphor lets me visualize everything more effectively, showcasing the wine menu, label designs, the ambience of the tasting room. Carousels, on the other hand, give me a stronger medium for storytelling, and of course, lifestyle content. Lifestyle posts perform very well, though the people engaging with them aren't always the ones who end up purchasing. This is just the reality. But it reveals who I am beyond the winery walls, which matters just as much as who I am within them. I also make a point to not try to reinvent the wheel every time I sit down to create, so I follow a content waterfall approach. It begins with something I deliver for clients, usually. A webinar, a themed class, or a section for a program or a module. Then I distill the central insight from that session into a video. From that video, there are typically 3 to 5 key lessons, each built around a story, a setup, and a core takeaway. So that covers the traffic side. The main lesson here is you want the right people walking into the winery, not just a crowd. You don't need volume, you need alignment. Once the right people are inside the tasting room, we move into the nurturing phase. Conversations can happen remarkably quickly when the right content reaches the right audience. So once again, ads bring in the right crowd, and now it's about delivering the right content and the right nurturing sequence for that specific group. I try to accomplish this primarily through YouTube and email. My YouTube channel functions as a content library. It's where I create videos that are essentially me, my story, documenting my own journey building a business from 0 to a million a year. I'm trying to produce videos around every major lesson I've learned. And every video here should serve a purpose. For example, where I was before and what shifted and what I took away from it, the breakthrough, the moment of courage, the biggest insight, and then how others can apply it in their own business. The stories are what create real connection with the audience. It always begins with a powerful idea, something I've done for clients or within my own business. And that makes me think, this is too valuable to keep to myself. For instance, business doesn't have to be hard. My genuine wish is that every person on the planet could build their 500k a year online business. That kind of income would let them provide for their family, pursue what excites them, and live wherever they choose simply by packaging their expertise and delivering it to a group of people who benefit enormously from it. That's a world worth building, and I want more people to experience it. Then I write the outline. I tend to script it word for word because I genuinely enjoy writing. And after that, I build the visuals. I film it and make sure the production quality is strong. Because when I invest heavily in what I give away for free, people naturally assume my paid offerings are 10 times better. I'm convinced that every YouTube channel needs a foundational trio: a case study video, a unique mechanism video, and a video about whatever core philosophy you hold to be true. Once those exist, you can build your ecosystem around them, because I believe in ecosystems over funnels. The sales process isn't a straight line. Clients are all different. They have different obstacles, ambitions, dreams, life circumstances, and levels of awareness. So forcing everyone through the same identical funnel means losing a significant portion of them. But with an ecosystem, there are countless entry points: Instagram, YouTube, a newsletter, a waitlist, LinkedIn, word of mouth, and they all interconnect within the cohesive system. People convert when the timing is right for them, because coaching and consulting should be something people choose to buy, not something they're pursued into. An ecosystem lets you serve your audience rather than sell to them. It lets you demonstrate who you are instead of lecturing people on what you do. And when someone is truly ready, I promise you, they'll take that step. But you need to stop forcing the decision on them. So now you've got attention. We've got people inside the winery. They're being nurtured and they're waiting which wine from the menu is right for them. Now it's time to convert. And here's the thing. There isn't a single winery anywhere in the world that tries to talk you into choosing a wine. For example, Bordeaux over a Burgundy. They listen. They ask, what can I help you with today? What kind of mood are you in? I'm looking for something rich and earthy. And they say, wonderful. Our Cabernet Sauvignon has been aging for, let's say, 18 months. So it's the perfect choice for you. No sommelier on earth will pressure you into a purchase. And I believe coaching and consulting should work the same way. That's why I center everything around one core product. My specialty is helping coaches, consultants, and expert-driven businesses. If you've got a skill set you excel and can package it for online delivery, I'm your person. I help people reach 300-400k a year, and I know the exact numbers, metrics, offers, and the steps required to hit that mark. But I deliver it through many different formats. So we've built a wine menu. And here's what it looks like. Some clients work with me one-on-one. That's a mentorship, a done-with-you arrangement. I also sell my frameworks as standalone products. I create one-time offers for my pipeline. I run an agency where I have equity in different info businesses. We literally execute everything for people. I offer hybrid packages too. I even host workshops where I take specific elements and turn it into their own independent offerings. This lets me serve people at different levels of awareness across different price points that match individual budgets and whatever solution they're after. So I'm no longer leaving revenue on the table. I used to push everyone through the same funnel, offering the same product at the same price to every single person. And a lot of them ended up feeling pressured into buying. I'll be the first to acknowledge that. And I was leaving significant revenue behind not having a properly structured offer stack. So once your wine menu is built, you gain the flexibility to rotate between offers. The one issue most coaches and consultants like myself deal with is permanent availability. I guarantee you, if you message most coaches and consultants, they're always ready to take your payment. But this creates an unhealthy dynamic where you're always in sales mode. And if you never give people a reason to act now, why would they? So I figured out that with a wine menu, I can open and close different offerings and rotate them based on when I'm ready to deliver. This means during the first part of the month, I'm promoting a specific offer, then I close it until the following month. Then maybe I run a workshop for a week, maybe I promote a mastermind, maybe I open a slot in my agency. I cycle through offers, which generates real urgency and real scarcity, because I'm genuinely not always available, and that gives people an actual reason to act. A perfect analogy is when wineries release a limited vintage, a particular year, a particular harvest, just once. You watch demand surge because people know it won't last. It motivates them to move, to buy. The wine menu also provides an excellent mechanism for upselling, downselling, or renewing clients. In my first coaching business, the conversation at the end was basically, great, you've completed 6 months, and what now? Well, you can buy the exact same thing. Appealing? Not really. Having a high tier option for people to graduate into or more accessible tier to maintain access to resources, timing, and community without the one-on-one component, that's the most effective way to boost your lifetime value and retention. The wine menu also becomes incredibly powerful once you recognize the 4 distinct types of buyers. Some people are immediately ready to commit. They find the digital winery and they just get it. They consume all of my content in a single sitting and say, here's my card, just take the payment. And maybe that particular offer is available, or they just hop on a waitlist. Then there are the people who've been following for months and have finally reached the point of action. And then there are those who've consumed everything but will never actually purchase. They're just here to enjoy the free tastings. And that's perfectly okay. Not every member of your audience is the same person. They carry different purchasing patterns, behaviors, shaped by past experiences, and that's fine. Recognizing this also gives you a much healthier relationship with selling, because you understand that people are simply wired differently. So now we understand how to bring people through the front gate, how to nurture them, and we have the wine menu that empowers them to choose what suits them best. Once we've poured their glass, we want to make sure they stay in the tasting room. Retaining a customer is far more cost effective than acquiring a new one. The wine menu supports retention, but ultimately what people invest in is insight, transformation, and outcomes. If I'm stagnant, if I'm not improving, people will move on. But if I'm consistently evolving, consistently delivering the sharpest knowledge, the best implementation, then people will keep coming back. That's exactly why I run an agency with equity stakes in 9 different coaching businesses. It gives me an extraordinary volume of data. We're operating the entire business. I also have 3 active one-on-one clients whose numbers, customers, pricing offers, and niches I know the inside and out of. So I'm embedded in 11 different businesses, which provides me with the richest possible data to create the best possible programs, frameworks, guides, and SOPs. Everything feeds into everything else. It's one continuous loop of incoming data. All my clients combined generate between 600,000 to 700,000 in monthly recurring revenue across coaching businesses. And that's 600k worth of insight into what's performing, which ads, which offers, which niches, which funnels, which ecosystems. When clients see that I'm consistently in motion, it inspires them to stay in motion too and to stick around. It also creates a natural stickiness because I also understand their business intimately. It's far easier for them to continue working with me than to start fresh with a new consultant who has to learn everything from the ground up. How they like their offers built, what their metrics look like, what they've already experimented with. That's just unnecessary friction. They stay with a person who already knows the seller. And that's the whole picture. Business only feels like suffering if you decide it has to be impossibly hard. The most consequential decision you make is which model you choose to build your business around. That's how I attract, nurture, convert, and retain clients inside the digital winery. I hope you picked up something valuable. So yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.